About 6 months ago, I had a discussion with my wife about getting our kids into Harvard University, and if they were able to, that they should be able to go there. And I looked at her and I said, I don't even want my kids going to college, much less some woke Ivy League school where they're going to come back hating us after being indoctrinated by their teachers. Well, it turns out that now her little plan has blown up, along with what will be Palestine. Because those student organizations, we all knew that Harvard was woke and that their degree has gone down, because it doesn't mean that you always have the best and the brightest when you have affirmative action students that you admit that don't deserve to be there. And I just read something that some high school kid with a 1590 on his SATs and 3.97 unweighted GPA, 4.42 weighted, was denied from 16 colleges. Why? Because he's Asian. And now that 31 student organizations at Harvard have come out in favor of Hamas and have blamed the whole thing on Israel, well, now the value of that degree plummets even further, because people like Alan Dershowitz, the famed Harvard lawyer who taught there for decades, has declared that he wants all of the people at Amnesty International, Harvard University, all of the student organizations, they have the right to free speech, but he wants their names out there. He wants to know the names of all the students that are supporting the murder of innocent civilians, the beheading of babies. Rhina Workman, an affirmative action student at NYU who checks all the boxes of diversity, non-binary, black, female, signed a letter on behalf of the student law union stating that Israel is to blame for the atrocities committed by Hamas. Well, she got called out. And I'm very glad that we have free speech that allows it so that we can see these black-hearted, evil, narcissistic, confused people for what they are. Well, now we get to know their names. Bill Ackman, the hedge fund manager, came out and stated that he wants to know the student names so that he doesn't inadvertently hire them. Mehdi Hassan of MSNBC, of course, defended them and said, in the so bright, so suddenly you don't believe in free speech as though that was a big gotcha. Well, no, Mehdi, I believe that you have the right to speak. I also want to know if I'm hiring somebody that is so malevolent that they are in favor of the beheading of young Israeli babies because they're Jewish, thus they're racist, thus everything that you've been preaching over the years about racism being the great evil. I don't want to hire those people because I agree. I don't like racism. Now the value of the Harvard degree is degraded, and now I get to save a lot of money because I don't have to send my son there. Yes, it's a win-win. Peak wokeness might be where we are right now because people are learning that there are repercussions. Woke has gone too far, and there has to be a continual pushback against these scumbags, against their ideas, so that they don't continue to propagate, because it's a cancer on the world, and there has to be a chemotherapy administered to it. And that means that they don't get hired, that they don't get preferential treatment because they're woke. And believe me when I tell you that all the people that say that they abhor Nazis and pointed their fingers and called every single one of us that word coming from the Third Reich are the same people that are celebrating the deaths of Jews, that are saying, gas the Jews. And one last question, if you have any moral confusion about what's going on, if you want to say, well, both sides, who would Adolf Hitler be cheering for at this present moment?